everyone! Welcome back to our channel. I'm Anna, and this is my friend Alex. We're so happy you're here today.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. We have a really interesting topic to talk about today. It's something that confuses a lot of people learning English.
Oh my gosh, yes. I remember when I first learned about this, I was like, wait, what? But it actually makes a lot of sense once you understand it.
Before we jump in, I think we should maybe introduce ourselves a little bit. I know some people watch us and don't really know much about us, right?
That's true. Okay, so I'm Anna. I'm from Texas. I grew up in Austin, actually, and I teach English to international students at a university. I've been doing that for about 6 years now. Yeah, 6 years.
And I'm Alex. I'm from California, actually, Southern California. I'm a writer, so I work with language every single day. I write articles, sometimes I write short stories, and I really love how English works, you know? The grammar, the structure, it's fascinating to me.
And that's why he's so good at explaining grammar. Okay, so today we are going to talk about something that really confused my students last semester.
What topic is it, Anna?
In the passive voice.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
I know, but here's the thing. It's not actually as complicated as it sounds. It just sounds complicated.
Exactly. And I think the reason it sounds complicated is because people try to learn passive voice and verb tenses separately. They don't connect them together.
Yes, that's exactly what I think too. And then when you combine them, people are like, what's happening?
Right. So that's what we're here for. We're going to explain it together, and we're going to make it really simple. You ready?
I'm ready. But first, let me ask you something. Do you remember when you first learned passive voice? How did that feel?
Oh, man. I remember my high school English teacher trying to explain it, and I didn't get it at all. I was sitting in class thinking, why would anyone use passive voice? Why not just use active voice? I was so confused.
And did she explain it well?
Not really, honestly. She just gave us rules. She didn't explain the feeling of it, you know? The actual reason why we use it.
That's what I try to do with my students. I always say passive voice is not bad, it's just different. You use it for different reasons. And once people understand the reasons, it's so much easier.
Totally agree. Okay, so let's start with this. Before we talk about tenses with passive voice, maybe we should remind people what passive voice actually is. Do you want to do that?
Oh, good idea. Yeah, let me do that quickly. So, passive voice is when the person who receives the action becomes the subject of the sentence. Does that make sense?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so like in active voice, we say, the cat ate the mouse, right? The cat is doing the action. But in passive voice, we say, the mouse was eaten by the cat. Now the mouse is the subject. The mouse is what we're talking about.
And we put the cat at the end with by.
Exactly. Or sometimes we don't include the cat at all. We just say, the mouse was eaten, and we don't mention the cat.
Right. And that's actually really important for what we're talking about today, because a lot of passive sentences don't have the agent.
The agent, that's the person or thing doing the action.
Right. So if we say the mouse was eaten, we don't know who ate it, or maybe it doesn't matter, or maybe it's obvious.
Okay, good. So now that we have that basic idea, let's talk about tenses with passive voice. And I think the best way to do this is we should just start with the present simple, right?
Yeah,
Let's start with present simple. That's the easiest one.
Okay, so present simple passive. The structure is the subject plus am, is, or are plus the past participle of the verb.
Can you give an example?
Yeah, so the house is painted every year, or these flowers are watered every day. You see, it's simple. We're talking about something that happens regularly or something that's true now.
And in active voice, that would be like, someone paints the house every year, or someone waters these flowers every day.
Exactly. But when we use passive, we don't care about the someone, or we don't know who it is, or it's just not important to the sentence.
So when would you actually use that, like in real life?
Oh, good question. So imagine you're talking about your workplace. You could say, our office is cleaned every evening, right? You don't need to say who cleans it. Everyone knows there's a cleaning person. It's not important.
Right, that makes sense. Okay, so what about present continuous passive?
Oh, okay. So this is where it gets a little more interesting. Present continuous passive uses am, is, or are plus being plus the past participle.
So what does that sound like?
Um, the house is being painted right now. Or the flowers are being watered at this moment.
Oh, so it's happening now. Like at this specific moment, someone is doing it.
Yes, exactly. And the difference is important. Present simple says it happens regularly. Present continuous says it's happening right now. It's ongoing.
So if I say the house is painted every year, that's just a fact, something that happens repeatedly.
Right.
But if I say the house is being painted, that means someone is literally painting it right now as we speak.
You got it. And actually, there's something really interesting about present continuous passive. It can feel a little awkward sometimes, like the cake is being eaten. It sounds a bit strange, doesn't it?
It does. It sounds weird.
But it's grammatically correct. You would use it if you wanted to emphasize that something is happening right now. Like, I'm sorry I can't talk right now. Dinner is being prepared.
Okay, I see. That makes sense. So now let's move to past simple passive?
Oh, past simple. Okay, this is probably the most common one people use. Past simple passive is was or were plus the past participle.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. The house was painted last summer. Or I was born in Texas. Oh, that's a really common one. Everyone says, I was born.
Right. Nobody says, my parents born me. That doesn't work.
No, exactly. We have to use passive there because, well, the person being born isn't really doing the action, right?
True. So past simple passive is just a completed action in the past. It's finished.
Right. It happened and it's done. Now, there's also past continuous passive. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. What's that?
Okay, so past continuous passive is was or were plus being plus the past participle. So the house was being painted when I arrived.
Oh, so it was happening in the past and then something else happened.
Exactly. So imagine you came home and workers were painting your house. You'd say, when I got home, the house was being painted.
Right. And if you say the house was painted, it sounds like it's already finished.
Exactly. Past continuous passive emphasizes that it was ongoing. It wasn't finished yet.
This is making a lot of sense, actually. Okay, what about present perfect?
Oh, present perfect. This is a good one because a lot of people use present perfect without realizing how important it is. So, present perfect passive is has or have plus been plus the past participle.
So, what's an example?
The house has been painted several times. Or, oh, I have been to Paris twice. No, wait, that's not passive. That's just a weird sentence structure. Let me think of a better one.
No, I know what you're trying to say.
Okay, so this book has been read by millions of people. That's present perfect passive.
And what's the difference between that and just past simple?
Good question. So if I say, this book was read by millions of people, it sounds like it already happened completely in the past. Maybe nobody's reading it anymore.
Okay.
But if I say, this book has been read by millions of people, it sounds like the effect is still happening now. People might still be reading it. The action started in the past, but it's still relevant to the present moment.
Oh, so present perfect is like it started then, but it's still happening or still relevant.
Yes, you're getting it. And the tricky thing is, sometimes the difference is really small. Sometimes it depends on context.
Great. So it's not always clear cut.
No, that's the thing about English. It's not always black and white. A lot of times, both forms could be correct, but they have slightly different meanings or feelings.
Okay. So what about present perfect continuous? Is there a passive form of that?
Oh, yes, but it's really complicated. And honestly, people don't use it that much. It's has been or have been plus being plus the past participle. So, the house has been being painted for 3 weeks.
Ew. That sounds awkward.
I know, it sounds so awkward. And that's why people usually avoid it. They'll say something like, the house has been painted for 3 weeks instead. Or they'll just use active voice.
I would definitely just use active voice. That sounds terrible.
Right? So you can forget about that one, honestly. It's not really used. Now let's talk about past perfect passive.
Okay, past perfect. That's when something happened before another thing happened in the past, right?
Exactly. So past perfect passive is had been plus the past participle. So the house had been painted before we moved in.
So the painting happened first, and then moving in happened second.
Right. And you use past perfect when you want to make it clear which thing happened first, because sometimes when you're telling a story, the order matters.
That makes sense. Okay, so future simple passive.
Oh, yes. Okay, future simple passive is will be plus the past participle. So, the house will be painted next summer.
That's straightforward. It's just going to happen in the future.
Yep. And there's also future continuous passive, which is will be being plus the past participle. But again, nobody really uses that. It sounds weird.
I'm noticing a pattern here. A lot of the continuous forms sound weird and passive.
Right? That's actually a really good observation because the continuous aspect emphasizes that something is happening right now, and passive voice is often used when we don't care about who's doing it. So combining them can sound awkward.
That actually makes sense. Okay, so what about The conditional passive, like if statements.
Oh, okay, so conditional passive is really interesting because it depends on which conditional you're using, like second conditional. If the house was painted, it would look better. Or if the house were painted, it would look better.
Wait, which one is correct?
Actually, both work, but were is more formal. In spoken English, people say was more.
Okay. And what's the difference?
Not much, honestly. The were form is just a little more traditional or formal, but in real life, people don't really care that much.
Okay. And third conditional? Like something that didn't happen?
Right, so third conditional passive. If the house had been painted, it would have looked better. And that's talking about something that didn't happen in the past. If someone had painted it, it would look better now, but they didn't.
Got it. Okay, so I have a question. We've talked about a lot of tenses, but you also said aspects at the beginning. What's the difference between tense and aspect?
Oh, good question. A lot of people confuse these. Tense is about time, when something happens, present, past, future.
Right.
But aspect is about the nature of the action, whether it's completed or ongoing or repeated or something like that.
So, simple aspect is completed?
Right, like the house was painted, it's finished, it's done.
And continuous aspect is ongoing.
Yes, the house is being painted. It's happening right now. It's not finished.
Okay, that makes sense. And perfect aspect is what?
The connection between the past and present, or it emphasizes which action happened first. So, I have been to Paris connects my past experience to my present knowledge.
So, like the past action is relevant to now.
Exactly. You're getting it.
Okay, so let me ask you something practical. In your teaching, when do your students get really confused about this?
Oh my gosh, all the time. But I think the worst is when they mix up simple and continuous passive. Like, I'll have a student write, "The email is sent yesterday."
Oh no.
And they don't understand why it's wrong. They're like, "But the email is sent." And I'm like, "Yes, but yesterday means past. So you need simple past passive. The email was sent yesterday." And is being sent would be present continuous, which means right now.
So, the tense and the time have to match.
Exactly. And students don't always make that connection.
Okay, so here's another question. When you're writing or speaking, how do you decide which passive form to use?
Um, Honestly, I don't really think about it too much. It kind of just comes naturally. But if I'm teaching, I have to think about it. I think about what do I want to emphasize and when did it happen?
That makes sense. So, like, if you want to talk about something happening right now, you'd use continuous passive.
Right. Or if you want to talk about when things happened in order, you'd use perfect.
Okay, so can you give me, like, a full story using different passive tenses? Like, as if you're telling me about something that happened.
Oh, yes, I love this idea. Okay, so last month, my house got broken into. Not mine personally, but my neighbor's house.
Oh no, that's scary.
Right? So the window was broken by someone. That's simple past passive. It happened at a specific time.
Okay.
And then the police were called. Also simple past passive. But here's the thing. When I got home, I could see that things were being moved around inside. Past continuous passive. It was happening when I saw it.
So you witnessed it in progress.
Yes. And then my neighbor told me that her jewelry had been stolen before she even realized the break-in. So that's past perfect passive. The stealing happened before the realization.
Oh, so the past perfect makes it clear which thing happened first.
Right. And then the police said the house would be monitored for a few days. That's simple future passive. And now an alarm system is being installed. That's present continuous passive.
Wow. So in one story, you used like 5 different passive forms.
Right. And they're all used naturally because they're describing different times and different aspects of what happened.
So the key is, you're not trying to use passive for no reason. You're using it because it fits the meaning you want to communicate.
Yes, that's exactly it. And I think that's what confuses students. They think, oh, I should use passive voice because it sounds smart. But that's not why you use it. You use it because it's the most natural way to say what you mean.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So, what if someone asked you, why should we study all these passive tenses? When would we ever use them?
Oh, I get that question all the time. And the answer is you probably use them more than you think. Like you read them in news articles, in instructions, in books. It's everywhere.
Right. Like instructions on boxes use passive voice all the time.
Exactly. This product is made in China. Or these instructions should be followed carefully. And in news, they're like, the building was destroyed by a fire, or a new law has been passed by Congress.
Oh, yeah, I see that all the time.
And in email or professional writing, this report should be completed by Friday, or the meeting has been rescheduled to Thursday. Passive voice is everywhere in professional communication.
So, it's actually really important to understand it, even if you don't use it that much yourself.
Right, because you need to understand it when you read it, and then when you write it, you'll already know how it works.
Okay, so are there common mistakes people make with passive tenses?
Oh my gosh, yes, so many. One big one is people mix up the helping verb. Like they say, the report is completed yesterday, but is present and yesterday is past. So it has to be the report was completed yesterday.
Right. The tense of the helping verb has to match the time.
Exactly. And another one is people sometimes forget to use been in perfect passive forms. Like they'll say, the work has completed, but it should be, the work has been completed.
So you always need been for perfect passive?
Right, because the structure is have/has plus been plus past participle.
Okay. What about continuous?
Good question. So, continuous passive, you need being, like the work is being completed. Some people forget the being and just say the work is completed, which is technically correct, but it's simple passive, not continuous.
So if you say is being, you're emphasizing that it's happening right now.
Exactly. Is completed sounds like it's finished. Is being completed sounds like it's in progress.
Got it. Are there any other common mistakes?
Oh, yes. People sometimes mess up the past participle, like they use the wrong form, like the door is opened this morning. But opened is the past participle, it's used correctly here, but it depends on context.
Wait, is that wrong?
Okay, so the door is opened this morning sounds a little odd. It sounds like the door is still open right now because someone opened it this morning. But usually you'd say the door was opened this morning, past simple, because the opening happened in the past.
Okay, so the time marker in the sentence helps you decide which tense to use.
Right. If there's a time marker like yesterday or last week or tomorrow, you know which tense you need.
That makes sense. Okay, so one more question. Are there any irregular past participles that people get confused about?
Oh, yes. Like write becomes written, not wrote. So you'd say the letter has been written, not the letter has been wrote.
I've definitely heard people say that wrong.
Everyone has, because wrote is past tense, but in passive you need the past participle, which is written.
So people have to know their irregular verbs.
Right. And that's actually a whole other thing. It's not specifically about passive or tenses, it's just you need to know your verb forms.
That makes sense.
Okay, so let me give you some tips that I tell my students. First tip, when you're not sure which tense to use, ask yourself, when did this happen? Is it happening now? Will it happen later? That tells you the time.
Right.
Second tip, ask yourself, is it complete or is it happening right now? That tells you whether to use simple or continuous.
So simple is finished, continuous is happening right now.
Exactly. And third tip, don't use passive voice unless you have a good reason. Like, don't just use it to sound fancy. Use it because you don't know who did it, or it's not important, or it's obvious.
That's good advice for actual communication, not just grammar.
Right, because a lot of times active voice is clearer and easier to understand. And fourth tip, practice reading passive sentences. The more you read them, the more natural they feel.
That's probably the best tip, honestly.
I think so too, because grammar is not just about rules, it's about feeling. It's about what sounds right.
And that comes from practice and exposure.
Exactly.
Okay, so I have a story about this. When I first started writing professionally, my editor used to mark up my work with red pen all the time, and she'd write, "Change this to active voice." And I was like, but I like passive voice.
Why?
Because I thought it sounded more sophisticated, more... And she was like, no, it's just confusing. Write actively. And honestly, she was right. When I switched to active voice, my writing became so much clearer.
So you don't really use much passive voice anymore.
I use it sometimes when it makes sense, like in certain situations, but not constantly. But I'm really glad I learned about it because now I understand it and I can use it when I need to.
That's the thing. You need to know it, even if you don't use it all the time.
Right. Okay, so you said you teach this to students. Do you have a story about a student who finally got it?
Oh my gosh, yes. I had this student from Japan, and she was so confused about passive voice. For weeks, she just didn't get it. And then one day, we were doing a conversation practice, and I said, okay, imagine your house was robbed. Tell me what happened. And something just clicked.
What happened?
She started talking, and she was like, my door was broken, my laptop was stolen, the police were called, and all of a sudden, she understood why she needed passive voice, because in that situation, it wasn't about who did it, it was about what happened. And she was like, oh, I get it now.
That's so cool. So giving her a real situation helped.
Yes, because grammar isn't just abstract rules. It's about communicating real things. Once she understood that, everything made sense.
I really like that, because that's actually how we learn language naturally. We don't learn rules first, we learn from context.
Exactly. And that's why I always try to use stories and real situations in my teaching.
Well, it obviously works.
Okay, so let me try to summarize everything we talked about. We talked about how passive voice combines with different tenses,
And the main point is the passive structure stays the same, but the helping verb changes based on the tense.
So you've got am, is, are for present simple, was, were for past simple, will be for future, and then different combinations for perfect and continuous.
Right. And we talked about aspect, which is different from tense. Aspect is about whether something is complete or ongoing.
And we gave examples of common mistakes and tips for understanding passive voice better.
And we shared some personal stories about why this matters in real life.
So I guess the big takeaway is, don't be scared of passive voice. It's not as complicated as it sounds.
Exactly. It's just like once you understand that it's about when something happens and whether it's finished or not, you can figure out which form to use.
And the more you read it and hear it, the more natural it becomes.
Right. So if you're learning English, just give yourself permission to be confused for a little bit. It's okay. Everyone is confused about this at first.
Yeah, I was definitely confused.
And if you're watching this and you're still confused, that's okay too. You can watch this again, you can pause it, you can practice, and gradually it'll make sense.
And if you have questions, leave them in the comments. We read all the comments.
We do, and we love answering questions because it helps us explain things better too.
So, I guess that's everything.
I think so. I mean, there's obviously more we could talk about, but this is the foundation. Once you understand these basics, you can build on it.
Right. Like you could explore more complex passive structures, or you could practice more with specific tenses.
Exactly. But the foundation is understanding how passive voice works and understanding how tenses change it.
So, thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you. Please like the video if it helped you.
And subscribe for more English lessons.
We have a lot of fun content coming. We're going to be talking about confusing grammar topics, phrasal verbs, different accents.
And we also do conversation videos like this one, where we just talk naturally and hopefully you pick up some English while listening to us.
So if that's something you like, definitely subscribe and turn on notifications so you know when we post.
Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye, everyone!
Bye.